Hi everyone, I am Luiza Lucena, a PhD candidate in Natural Resource Science and Management at the University of Minnesota, investigating community participation in certification standards. This summer, I worked as a low-impact hydropower social and governance analyst fellow, and today I'm very excited to present the work I developed this summer. The Low Impact Hydropower Institute is a non-profit organization that manages a voluntary certification program for the low impact hydropower operations in the US. And nowadays, there is a growing demand for ESG reporting globally, which has generated a plethora of ESG frameworks that are not always easy to navigate. Currently, LEHI certification program primarily focuses on environmental criteria, such as ecological flow regimes, water quality, and habitat protection, with only 2 of the 8 criteria dedicated to social aspects of hydropower, such as recreation and cultural resource protection. While these are important, incorporating social and governance considerations has been limited. So there is a need to bridge the gap between environmental and social governance considerations. And to tackle this issue, we undertook a 5-step approach involving content analysis of 23 documents, and we built a database of ESG indicators. We also performed 3 gap analyses of ESG frameworks and standards against the LEED certification criteria. We also identified 12 certification standards applicable to the hydropower operations and assessed these standards. We also identified 12 organizations for proxy review of social and governance considerations and interviewed key stakeholders and produced a final report with the recommendations. So we found that 56% of the top 10 largest LEHI certificate holders publicly report ESG, and the Global Reporting Initiatives and Sustainability Accounting Standard Board are the most common ESG frameworks employed by these companies. Through content analysis, we identified 102 ESG indicators, and the most common are in the social sphere are engagement and participation of communities and indigenous peoples, grievance mechanism, and community health and safety. Finally, the most common governance indicators were annual reporting and financial disclosure, assurance and verification of ESG, and disclosure of ESG impacts and strategy and transparency. Well, we noticed that LEHI already incorporate a couple of these social and governance indicators. So my recommendation is to improve the communication strategy and formalize some existing requirements. For example, LEHI requires annual compliance review, transparency, stakeholder engagement, and participation during the certification process, and a grievance mechanism for stakeholders to provide their input at any moment of the certification process. However, these requirements are not clearly articulated in their branding and criteria. And another common theme across ESG frameworks and standards is labor issues and working conditions. So LEHI could consider incorporating these indicators to better align with international standards. And finally, LEHI could consider incorporating transparency for certificate holders in social and governance reporting practices as part of their certification program. Well, thank you so much. It was a great opportunity to participate in the Sustainability Fellowship this summer, and I've learned a lot with my peers, with my mentors, and my fellow fellows. Thank you very much for watching this video, and stay tuned for more.